For the first time since WrestleMania 40, Roman Reigns has broken his silence in WWE, and he has revealed who the real tribal chief is and who is in charge of the bloodline. And in today's video, we'll get to exactly what Roman said and what it means for Paul Heyman, Solo, and the bloodline going forward. On the latest episode of SmackDown, Paul Heyman was confronted by Solo Sikoa backstage. Solo asked Paul Heyman point blank, "When you stared down Jey Uso at the Backlash pay-per-view, were you signaling him for help?" Like Paul Heyman basically was being held hostage, and he was trying to alert Jey Uso that he needed help. Because obviously it didn't happen for no reason. There was something behind it. But no matter what that stare down between Heyman and Jey meant, Solo was not happy about it. And he confronted Paul Heyman backstage. Paul Heyman told Solo it wasn't true. He wasn't trying to signal Jey or ask for help or anything. But Solo also was very angry still about the lie that Heyman told about Roman not wanting to be drafted. As we know, Roman never told Paul Heyman he didn't want to be drafted. Paul Heyman made the choice himself, and then the bloodline wasn't drafted until the third round because Roman was not included in the draft with the bloodline. And Solo told Paul Heyman, "I was embarrassed that we were drafted in the third round. If Roman would have been included with the bloodline in the draft, we would have been drafted number 1 overall." And Solo asked Paul Heyman, "Is it still true that you haven't talked to Roman Reigns since he lost to Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 40? And Paul Heyman said, "No, I have not talked to Roman since WrestleMania 40. And that's when Solo revealed the shocking truth. As Solo said, "Well, Paul, you may not have talked to Roman since WrestleMania 40, but guess what? I have." And that's when Solo revealed some very shocking information that Roman Reigns told him. So let's get to this information that Roman told Solo, as the one true tribal chief has been revealed and who is in charge of the bloodline. Let's get to all of this right now. Ronda Rousey has verbally attacked Roman Reigns. In her book, Our Fight, Ronda Rousey talked about her experience working in WWE and how bad her second run was with the company, and it was all Roman Reigns' fault. Ronda said in her book, WWE only gave her one airplane seat, even though she was traveling with her baby. It was very tough for her. Meanwhile, she was very angry that stars like Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns were being chartered around in very plush private jets. And Ronda said while WWE gave Roman a private jet, they were doing it just so he could do mediocre work. And that goes for Brock Lesnar as well. So Ronda saying right there that Roman has done mediocre work over the last couple of years. Obviously, Roman Reigns and his fans can't be happy about this. Ronda also talked about how she was very angry that her time was cut from TV shows and pay-per-views because of the bloodline. And she was barely on WWE TV during her second run, and she blames the bloodline. But speaking of the bloodline and Roman Reigns, we now know who the real tribal chief is and who is in charge of the bloodline, as Roman Reigns, for the first time since WrestleMania 40, has broken his silence in WWE. And it happened during that backstage segment with Paul Heyman and Solo, when Solo confronted Paul Heyman on numerous things. Paul Heyman told Solo Sikoa, "I have not talked to Roman Reigns since WrestleMania 40. But then Solo Sikoa replied and said, well, you haven't, but guess what? I have. And Solo revealed that everything that has been going on for the past month with the Bloodline was ordered by the tribal chief, Roman Reigns. For the first time right there, Solo acknowledged Roman as the tribal chief. Very surprising, because many thought that Solo was the new tribal chief and that Roman lost that title. But we now know that Solo is not the tribal chief, that he believes Roman is still the tribal chief, and Solo has been talking to Roman, whereas Paul Heyman, he has not. It's possible that Roman has blocked Paul Heyman from talking to him, but Solo has Roman on speed dial. He can talk to him seemingly at any time, and that is how we got this information. The information that Roman is still the tribal chief, Solo acknowledges Roman as the tribal chief, and the other bit of huge information is that Roman has put Solo in charge of the Bloodline, not Paul Heyman. And also, Roman has appointed Paul Heyman to be Solo's wise man. Obviously, Paul Heyman is Roman's wise man, but it's now official that Paul Heyman will be Solo's wise man as well. But then something very suspicious happened. After Solo revealed that Roman had talked to him and given him this new information, Solo then hugged Paul Heyman. But when he hugged him, Solo had a very strange look on his face, and his eyes kind of darted back towards other members of the Bloodline, Tama Tonga and Tanga Loa. This as Solo said to Paul Heyman, I love you. Was it a touching moment, or was it a setup for a future betrayal? Some have said that it almost seemed like Solo was giving Paul Heyman his last rites, and at some point, very soon, Paul Heyman would be attacked, Paul Heyman would be fired. But the question is, are these orders from the tribal chief Roman Reigns, or is this Solo's doing? So now that Roman Reigns has broken his silence in WWE for the first time, we now know that he is still the tribal chief and that he has put Solo Sikoa in charge of the Bloodline until he returns. What are your thoughts about Solo revealing that Roman Reigns is still the tribal chief of the Bloodline? Leave a comment and give me your opinion.